Hello traders, this is part 2 of my video on the custom search engine that I've built. In the first video, I talked about all the different fields and criteria that you're able to use to search for. In this video, I'm actually going to show you the search results, and then you'll be able to see that the scanner is actually doing what it's supposed to. So let's start at the top and use Trendline 20. I'm going to use the M5, the 5-minute period, just for simplicity. I'm also going to mark option liquidity greater than 2 and weekly options. I mentioned in my first video I like to trade options, so I always like to have those marked, and it also helps to narrow some of the results. If I want to look at the stock, all I have to do is double click on the symbol and the chart will come up. In my trading platform, I have a trend tool, and you can't see it right now. I'm trying to keep the video as small as I can, but I'm going to click TL20, and there you can see the uptrend line on a 5-minute chart. Now I'm going to go down to the Trendline 20 breach, and I'm marking bullish. So this will be a downward sloping trend line, and the stock will be above that trend line. So let's hit scan. And here we can see Apple is one of the search results. And there you can actually see the downward sloping trend line. And you can see how Apple is above that trend line. So this would be a bullish breach. The stock might be reversing and heading higher. Let's mark trend line 60. So instead of 20 periods, we're looking for 60 periods. I should mention that the S&P futures are down 50 points as I record this, so we might not see a lot of stocks with a bullish trend line here. Well, let's see if we return any results. 65-minute periods, that would be about 4 hours worth of results. And lo and behold, we do have some candidates. So let's click on the first one, and let's see if, well, we do have a bearish 60, excuse me, I need to go in and change the trend line from 20 to 60 because we're in a 60 period time frame. So this is TL60, and you can see how it's upward sloping. So now I'm going to look for a TL60, 60 periods, breach, bullish to the upside. Wow, there are some candidates today. You can see really hard selling with the S&P 500 today, but a really nice breach to the upside. So Adobe looks like it could be ready to reverse. That's the symbol that I clicked on. Now let's take a look at my trade signal. We're going to go bullish. And we'll click on the first one, see what's going on there. And I'm going to take off the trend line 60 right now. And if you want to see my trade signals, it's easy. You just have to click the B or the S icon in the platform. That stands for buy or sell. You can see you had a nice sell signal right in here. Bought a little bit of a dip, little sell in there, and it is trying to get long in here. So you can also mark bullish across a number of different time frames, and this would be a combination that I'll be showing you later. Well, the only one that came up on the search is Nugget. So Nugget is a gold ETF, and you can see how it is bullish on a 5-minute. I'm going to flip to a 15-minute, and I'm going to flip to a 30-minute. So it's bullish across many different time frames. Take this off. Trade signal is really good to use in conjunction with some of the other criteria. Pressure. So we're looking for bullish pressure. Apple's the first stock on list, and I'm going to click 10P. And this is my pressure indicator. And so here, it's a little bit hard to see, but the red line is above the blue line. Let's click on Adobe and see if it might be a little bit easier to see that. And we'll expand that a little bit. It is above, and that might be a sign that Adobe is ready to reverse. And I have that on a, excuse me, that might be part of the problem. I've got a 5-minute marked, but I'm looking at a 30-minute chart. So there you can easily see that yes, the pressure is bullish and the indicator is above the trigger line. Now we're going to be looking for strength versus SPY, and I'm going to, well, we've already looked at Adobe. Let's look at AMAT. Double click on it. I'm going to take the pressure indicator off of the chart, toggle on, toggle off, but I am going to toggle something else on. I'm going to toggle an overlay of the SPY. And here you can see how SPY had been trending lower, lower, lower. AMAT had already been trending higher. So I'm going to look for this on a 30-minute basis, and I should see AMAT again in the list. I do. Let's actually see what's been bullish for an hour and for 30 minutes relative to the SPY. And this is where it gets real interesting. S&P 500 down 50 points. These stocks are not moving lower. You can see how CI has held its own even when the market is selling off. That is a very bullish sign. So if I'm looking to play a market dip, I definitely would consider buying CI, because if the market continues to go down, this stock is going to hold its ground and I'll have plenty of time to get out. I can probably scratch the trade. If I do lose money on it, I'm probably not going to lose much, because look, this low has held very, very well, even with the market coming in. If the market does rally, this stock is going to take off. So I've got very, very limited downside, fantastic upside. And even if I'm wrong on the market, I could still make money in this stock. This is our edge, and we work it all the time. So strength versus SPY, excellent. Strength versus sector, let's see what this returns. So we can mark both strength versus SPY and strength versus sector. A little bit of a combo here. And let's take a look. There we see CRM again. Take a look at Caterpillar. There you go. Really nice. So it's strong versus the market, and it's strong versus the sector on a 5-minute basis. If we are swing traders, maybe we want to go into a 30-minute time frame and mark both. Or you could go 30 here and 15 there, whatever you'd like. I'll just click on Netflix because it happened to pop out. And this is on a 30-minute basis, so let's go to the 30-minute chart. Again, I'm not showing you all of the chart, but in my platform you can select the different time frames that you're interested in. And so if we're in a 30-minute time frame, you can see how the stock has been holding up pretty well. Look how far the SPY has fallen. And look at how well the stock has done. I mean, it isn't until today that it actually started to pull back a little bit. For the most part, it's been compressing right in this area while the market pulls back. So Netflix is definitely strong relative to the sector and relative to the market. Really good search. Compressions. Compression out. So I'm looking for a compression that was resolved to the bullish side on a 5-minute basis. Let me take the SPY overlay off. Toggle on, toggle off. I'm going to overlay 10SQZ, that stands for squeeze, so that you'll be able to see the search results here. And then we'll click on one. So this would have been resolved to the bullish side on a compression. And there you can see the latest compression, and you can see the stock is above it on a 5-minute basis. Let me see if I can find a different one where, same here. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm in a 5-minute period again. I mean, it was in a 30-minute period. I need to get back to that 5-minute chart. So there's your compression, and there's your breakout to the upside. We can go back and look at, I think, AMAT I had up earlier. As I'm recording this, there's your compression. There's your breakout to the upside. So it's bullish. Now we'll go in and we'll take a look for stocks that are in a compression. And this will be a little bit easier to see. We'll go in and click Amgen. Haven't looked at that one today. There's your compression. The stock is currently in the compression. So a lot of times in the compression in, you'll notice it does not have a bearish box to mark because it's in a compression. It's not bullish and it's not bearish. We're still waiting for that compression to be resolved. But if I've got a stock that is strong relative to the market and it's compressing, that would be of interest to me. And I'm expecting it to break out to the upside. We only have one, but one is better than none. And so this stock is compressing. It's been strong relative to the market on a 5-minute basis. It might be ready to go. Engulf. Let's find an engulfing pattern, but let's find one on a 15-minute basis. That would be a little bit more interesting to me. So we're going to go into a 15-minute chart. We'll click on the first one, APA. There's your engulfing pattern right there. That is a bullish engulf on a 15-minute basis. Hello. Those are great formations. There was your bullish engulfing pattern right there, but this bar is currently forming right now. Not so good. Might need a little bit more time. It also might need some help from the market because right now the market is continuing to sell off. So you can see this is the SPY overlay. So it might need a little bit of time. Let's look for a capitulation. That would be a deep sell-off and a bounce off of that sell-off. And we'll take a look at ABBV and see what it's got. And there you've got your deep drop that we're looking for. And there you've got a bullish engulfing pattern, and there you have the stock actually above that bar. That would be what we consider a capitulation. And let's go in and take a look for a bearish one. Since the market is down so much, this will probably be interesting. VXX. So there is your bearish capitulation. Up, up, up. Look at it pull back in here. That's your top. Really, really good for reversals. And some of you might be looking for engulfing patterns or capitulations on a daily basis. Awesome for longer term trades. So we'll bring up MET and we'll go to a daily chart. There was your bullish engulfing pattern right there. Stock has been able to hold its own during a 50-point S&P decline. That is relative strength. So even though the stock is down a little bit, it has not been taken behind the shed today. This stock is probably going to go higher. So we've talked about engulfing and capitulation. Heavy volume. Take a look at stocks that have heavy volume over the last 15-minute period relative to their average. I'll click on that. Click on a 15-minute. And I'm going to take the squeeze off. And you can see that over the last 15 minutes, it has had good volume. That might actually be easier to pick up on a 5-minute chart. And there you can see the heavier than normal volume. I'll unmark that. Now we're looking for, let's use range percent 90-10. We'll go bullish and let's go for the last 2 hours. See if anything is near the upper 90 percentile of its range. Haha, there are a couple stocks. So these stocks on an H2 basis, so we need to go to 2 hours, are near their upper percentile. It's near the top end of the range. If I wanted to drill down and go a little bit shorter term, let's see, maybe I'll go M15 and see what that returns. On a short-term basis, there might not be any stocks. Whoops, I'm sorry, I didn't unmark that. Only a couple, and we've already seen VXX, so we knew it was up near the top of its range. So that might not be the best candidate. You can see VXX is actually up here, right at the top of its range. So let's look at the final one. This is selling Climax. And this is not something that you necessarily are going to visually look at and say, oh yeah, I can see that that's climaxing. This is more of an internal type of study where you're looking for divergence. So let's say that I've got extremely bearish pressure on the stock, which would be most stocks right now, but I actually have a bullish trade signal. I'm getting into combos now, which I didn't want to do much of, but I just want to show you the types of results that are going to come up. So these are all be attractive candidates, and there you go right there. So you've got a selling Climax, but you have a bullish trade signal. So this stock is ready to reverse. That covers all of the criteria in the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'll show you, I'm not going to go through option liquidity, ATM. These really, I'll take a look at pre-earnings search, just show you how that works. And I think that I did this in the prior video. I think we're out of earnings season right now. I'll take off option liquidity. And I thought there might have been one company or so. Actually, I need to clear all because I did have one thing marked right there. So I'm going to clear all. And now I'll go back in and do a pre-earnings. And this would be a company that would announce after the close today or before the open tomorrow. You can see those results. Post earnings would have been a stock that announced after the close yesterday or before the open today. And since it's Monday morning, I'm sure these two released this morning before the open. That's about all I need to show you because you can sort by ETF only, the longer term bullish and bearish Climax. This is all self-explanatory. You know, the SMA is based on a daily SMA. So if I were looking for a stock that is above its 100-day MA, I'm going to probably find a whole lot of them. And this really is intended to be used in conjunction with other criteria. So I'm going to have a very big list, but let's say it's got to be above its 100-day MA, good liquidity, and let's say that it's got to be strong relative to the SPY. There we go. Nice small list. And look at DDD, strong relative to the SPY on these time frames. That stock has had a nice head of steam here. So let's say that I want to save this search. So I'm going to click save. Now I have to name it. Now you should think of a name that really describes this search so that when you're looking through a bunch of searches, you know exactly what it does. But I'm just going to put fave for favorite, and it's going to be a bullish search. And then here I'm going to say looks for relative strength. You should make a very long description in here because you're not going to remember all the things that you put in for this search. Now I'm going to click Save and Close, and I'm going to pull my platform over into the recording area, and now under my searches I can see FAV, and if I click it, then I have all of the symbols that can form, and now I can just click through, see all the results. And if I've completely forgotten and I can't tell from the description what the heck it is, I click this little question mark and there's my description. Looks for relative strength. Now if I don't like this search at all, click the garbage can. Do you want to delete it? Yes, I do. So we do also have some canned searches here, but with all the tools that you have, you're going to be creating your own searches, and you're not going to have to ask me, why is this a good search? Why does this search work better than other searches? What are the criteria used? You're going to know all of that information because you're creating your own searches and you're documenting it. And you won't have to go through and configure all of the indicators, what they do, how they work. That's already done for you. This is a binary system. It's so easy to use. You just click the criteria that you want in various combinations and then look at each one of the search results that come back. So my future videos, that's where I'm going to start showing you some of the combinations that I use. And man, we're going to see some great stocks. So look for those next videos and I'll show you some great combos. Thank you.